day one and all. My name is Kathy and welcome to this episode of the Scrap and Crafty Gardener. Today I am going to be stamping a card and using watercolor paper. I've chosen this adorable stamp that I got recently at the Adventures in Stamping Convention. This is from Blue Night Rubber Stamps. It's just this gorgeous cat. And I'm going to use that stamp. And then I have a few sentiments. I haven't really picked out what I want for sentiments, except for I do want to use "Hold On, I'm Here for You." Since that cat's kind of holding on to a branch, I thought that would be an appropriate sentiment. Now, my card is going to be 5x7. I have not yet decided what color it's going to be. I have cream, I have a light blue, and then a medium blue. All these cards measure 10 inches by 7 inches. I scored it at the 5-inch mark, folded it, increased it with my bone folder. I haven't picked the card yet because I want to see how the colors come together on the watercoloring to see which one looks the best. And I did cut out a small circle. I have these scalloped edge nesting circles, and I just chose the smallest one to cut out from. This is just plain old regular cardstock. That's not the watercolor paper. For the card itself, other than the base, I have a piece of black cardstock which measures 6 3/4 by 4 3/4, and then I have a piece of watercolor paper. This is by Northwoods Rubber Stamps, and this piece measures 6 5/8 by 4 5/8. That way we'll just have a little narrow black border. All right, and I have already stamped this once, because if you make a similar card, stamp this twice, because I have cut out some of the leaves. I stamped and cut out the leaves because I want to pop them up a little bit. So let me get started here. I'm going to start by stamping my image onto the watercolor paper. And there are two sides to the watercolor paper. One's a smooth side and one is a more rough side. I chose the smoother side for one because I had a smidge of ink on it. And I'm going to put this kind of in the middle, simply because this stamp is a red rubber, which you can use in your Misty stamping platform with the waffle flower grip mat, as I've shown you multiple times, but you just don't want to put a whole lot of pressure on the hinge. And if you move your stamp all the way to the bottom, that lifts up the hinge a little bit more than this way. And I want to stick this right in this corner as much as I can. Now, I am using my VersaFine Clair. I tried earlier using my GinaK Black Onyx, and I stamped half with the Black Onyx and half with the VersaFine Clair, and then I tried the watercolor on it. And the GinaK ran with the watercolor, but the VersaFine Clair did not. So that's why I'm choosing this for this time. It works great with alcohol inks and watercoloring. Now I'm just going to stamp this image down. And make sure I have a good impression. I'm going to put a little bit more ink on there. Oh, that looks good. A little bit more on the kitty's head. Perfect. All right, I'll set that aside and clean off my platform. And I just filled this with water, so come on. Hello, water. Well, my goodness. I'm just going to drop a little bit out here and drop a little bit on here, and my rag is already damp, so hopefully that'll be enough water. right. I do want to put this back in because I'm going to stamp the 1 sentiment. Hold on, I'm here for you. And this is by Spellbinders. Hold on was the kit name. And that's right here. I'm going to put this down here at the bottom. Kind of center it over this image. Oh, that's good. Oh, come on, little water bottle. You know, it works fine until you get on camera, and then everything likes to not work. But that's okay. I'll make it work. Pardon while I get a drink. I'm trying to remember to drink more when I'm down here in the basement. It is very dry down here. Okay, let me get started watercoloring. And I'm going to put this stamp back before I forget. Trying to stay organized. All right, and I'm going to start with my lightest color first, which is going to be the sky. And I've chosen my 2 favorite sky colors, Holtz Distress Oxides in Tumbled Glass and Broken China. And I'm just going to spread this, I'm going to put that rubber stamp back while I'm thinking of it. I'm just going to spread the ink right on my glass mat. Oh, there's the plastic pages. But I'm going to mix the 2 colors together, because when you watercolor, the color lightens up considerably, and the tumbled glass by itself would be too clear. And I'm going to put a lot of tumbled glass and just a hint of the broken china. Now I have a watercolor brush, but I needed to add a little bit of water here. That should do it. And I'm just going to mix the 2 colors together. If you don't have a water brush, just put water right on your mat like I just did. And I have a piece of paper towel that I'm going to have beside, just so I can wipe my brush on when I'm done with this color. All right, now let's get this sky colored. And if you have to step away once you've put your color on your table or any slick surface, all you need to do is come back and fill it with water again, and it will reconstitute. And I'm doing my skies kind of like how I do them when I'm ink blending. I want some white showing, so it looks like there's some depth and dimension to the sky. And watercoloring really doesn't take a lot of time, and it doesn't really take a whole lot of skill to start with. I do not profess to be a professional at this by any stretch of the imagination, but I've played enough with it that it's fun. And if I get a straight line, I kind of go back and swirl, because skies are swirled, not really straight. Need to put a little bit more water on here. I'm just going to pour a drop. Oh, that's a lot of drops, but that's okay. And the sky is the biggest part to color also. So once I get this done, it will go a lot faster. I think I need to add a little bit more color here since I put too much water on. I really toned it down too light. Okay. Easy fix, too much water, add more ink. Or too much ink, add more water. You can also watercolor with Crayola washable markers. If you have any that your kid has or you have, just scribble them onto your glass mat or a slick surface if you don't have a glass mat, and then use water and a brush with them, and you'll be able to watercolor. They actually watercolor very well. And they come in a lot of nice shades. I think I will go back here when I'm done with this section and add a little bit more water to this section because it really is darker now that I had added too much water and got a lighter color. So let's just get some of this water and go back here. And I can also take some of this color and add it up into there also. That looks pretty good. So now I'm just going to clean up this blue. Easy cleanup. And then I'm just going to brush off my brush. Okay, now for the kitty cat, I want to make it a gray tabby, reminiscent of my Kenneth. So I've chosen Moonlit Fog and Stormy Sky, and these are two separate colors. I'm not going to mix these colors together. Stormy Sky is a darker, and Moonlit Fog is a lighter. So I'm going to use the Moonlit Fog to color the kitty. Oh, and I got, speaking of kitties, I got a kitty here right in the middle of my project. Now I'm going to come in with the Stormy Sky and just add some highlights to these black stripes, just to add a little bit of a darker tone. And I'm going to add just a little bit to the paws. And inside the ear. And then just follow the black outlines from the stamp and add some to the paws down here also. That just adds a little bit more dimension to the cat. All right, now just clean this up. And wipe off my brush. Now for the tree, I've chosen warm cocoa and dark chocolate. The same as I did for the cat, I'm going to use the warm cocoa for the color of the branch. And then the dark chocolate for highlights. It's actually very relaxing watercoloring. And I got a little too much water, but that's all right. And I'm taking the coloring off the end of this side of the paper. That's one thing I like about clear stamps versus red rubber. I mean, red rubber can get you a more detailed stamp. However, I like the clear so you could see exactly where you're placing it on the paper. Now I could trim this off, but that's not something I want to do, so I'm just extending the color out to this on this side. Okay, now I'm going to go into my darker shade. And just hit it here and there where the stamp lines are. And then just a random every now and then, just to add my own touch. Okay, I think I want to go a little bit darker where that knot is. All right, and clean up this color. now I need to get my pre-cut leaves out here also, because I need to color them in addition to the one that's on the card. For the greens, I've chosen grass green for the base color. I'm going to put a little bit more just so I have enough. And then fresh asparagus for the accents. And we'll start on these pieces. Just color the whole thing with the grass green. And these ones will go faster because you can just go right off the edge. Doesn't matter if you stay on the leaf or not. I might not use all of these, but I did want to pop a couple of the leaves up, and I wasn't sure which ones. I did not cut them all out because some of them on the stamp look like they're layered already. So I just chose the leaves that were in the front. Okay, now we'll color the leaves on here. Just so, if you were putting them right on top and got your alignment perfect, then you wouldn't need to color these ones. But if your alignment might be off, you don't want to see just a white leaf. Or maybe you do. Maybe you colored this whole stamp in black and made it a silhouette stamp. Wouldn't that look cool? I may have to try that one of these days. And then maybe do an a sunset sky background, and then did the stamp all in black and filled it all in totally, and then took a wink of Stella and went over the black, or even stickles. That would be gorgeous. Okay, I might have to try that when I'm done today. This is just a beautiful stamp. I could not buy this stamp. I do love cats, all shapes and sizes, wild and domestic. I even love feral cats. And when I was in school, our mascot used to be a lion, which was perfect for me. But I grew up in a household of cat lovers. Now, my husband was more of a dog lover, but we had one cat when he was still alive, and he grew to love that thing. And that cat, her name was Muffin, Blueberry Muffin, but we shortened it to Muffin, because the day we brought her home from her adoption, I had made blueberry muffins, and she got in the garbage can and ate the whole muffin wrapper. She liked it so well, she even ate the wrapper. So that's how she got her name. And she lived to be 18 years old. Okay, now I'm just going to take the fresh asparagus and darken parts of the leaf. Adding a little bit of depth and dimension. The cats I have now, The two boys, Kenneth and David, are almost 12, and they're actual litter mates. I got them from the Humane Society. They had been born at the society in a litter of 8 cats. And thankfully, the day I got there, they were the only 2 left from the litter, or I would have ended up with all of them because I couldn't separate the family. And then my next oldest cat is little Miss Bridget. She was, my brother and his wife had feral cats that show up at their house. They have kittens and then drop off the kittens and then they leave. And she was a feral cat's baby. She is, this month, she'll be 11. And she still has some feral qualities, even though I raised her since she was, I didn't even know how old she was, 5 or 6 weeks when the mama left them. She mainly stays upstairs, and when anybody comes over, she hides, so nobody has ever seen her unless it's been on accident. She's what I call my guard cat. If someone pulls in the driveway or is on the sidewalk out front, she hisses and goes flying upstairs. And then my last cat is Pumpkin. Now, he did not get a traditional name like I like to name my cats. He had been a stray that had been feeding on my front porch for, let's see, he showed up in October. 2.5 years ago now. And I said, anyone that shows up on my porch, I name, just so that I can kind of keep them apart, because I feed the stray cats. Let's get a little bit of spray on here. And I said, well, we got to give him a name. And my sister-in-law said, well, he's orange, so let's call him Pumpkin because he showed up just before Halloween. Never knowing that he would end up being an indoor cat. There, that gets that. So then 2 years ago, right before we had a real terrible Christmas freeze, he come flying in the house when I opened the door to take food outside. He hasn't left since, but he's gorgeous. All right, now this is fairly dry already. That's one nice thing about watercolor paper is it absorbs it quickly. So I'm going to put this down on my card base and then see, and my shadow layer, then see what color card I want, because that's going to determine everything else. All right, here's that blue, which is okay. That bright blue, of the two, I prefer the bright blue. You know, I'm going with the cream. Okay, so let's put that on here. No, not yet. I want to add some stripes. Okay, now this leaf I'm going to pop up. I'm going to pop up the leaves, and then I need to add some stuff on the side here. And I'm just going to use some small pieces of my 1/4 inch foam tape, or my 1/8 inch foam tape, not my 1/4 inch. Just adds a little dimension. Now this one's down here. I think I'm going to cut off this portion here, so there's just no way for me to put a minuscule strip behind it. Well, So that goes there. Now, I've got this one down here, and I'm also going to do the same. I'm going to cut off this piece that's sticking out. It's just not feasible, or a way that I know of, to get that to pop up without it getting caught and possibly ripped off. Then, did I have... that a little bit, and then these two up here will be it on the pop-ups. I kind of thought at one time of popping up his paw, but I wanted the leaves to be more in your face than the cat's paw. Okay, that's this leaf here. And that leaf there. Okay, now I want to take, I cut these 1/4 inch strips. And I want to put some down, but I want to color them. I want to do 3 strips, but I don't know what color I want them. Since I've got it on a cream card, I think I'm going to go with the warm cocoa. Let's just color these with my cocoa. Oh, let me get a blending brush. I'll try one with a blending brush just to see. Now I think I'm going to use, I will use an alcohol ink marker. Let's see what this color looks like. Oh, okay, that one will work. This one is E645 Burnt Orange. Just go over them a couple of times. I normally put down a piece of scratch paper, but I did not today, so I'll just use some window cleaner to clean this off. And I want one more strip. Okay, and this needs to be the same length as my white panel, which is 4 5/8. So we're going to go 4 5/8. And let's see if I got that correct here. Yes, all right. So 4 5/8. And 4 5/8. Well, okay. And these, I better clean that up here. A little bit of window cleaner. I just use the Walmart glass cleaner. It's got ammonia in it, so it will take off the alcohol ink without any problem whatsoever. Now I'm going to glue these down flat. And I could use I think I will use, instead of glue, I'm going to use glue. I was going to use my double-sided tape. this will work just fine. And I'm going to put 2 like this, and then 1 in the middle. However, this glue is very sticky. Which is one, I like this glue because it really adheres projects together, at least for me. All right, oop, hold it down. Now I'm going to glue this, and then I just need to stamp a little sentiment on that circle that I cut out earlier. And I will use my little stamper for this one. Now, since this one says, "Hold on, I'm here for you," I was kind of thinking of "Hello, friend," or "Sending hugs." I think "Sending hugs" is too big. Or "Love you," which may also be too big. Let me pull out the "Love you." And that is right here. No, that's going to fit on there just fine. Now, I will do this in the VersaFine Clair Nocturne. Oh, beautiful. Let's see if my spray bottle will spray. A few drops. Now, I do want to take, I have a blue blending brush I've had over here, so I'm not even sure what color blue is on here. I'm just going to do the edge of the circle. Just like that, and drop the blending brush, which is okay. And I do want to pop this up, and I've got some new foam dots that I got at Hobby Lobby the other day. I think I'll put 3 on there. And where do I want to put this? I think right there in the middle. Now to bling it up. I have these, I've had these for a while. They're an Aurora Borealis sheen, and I thought they would be kind of pretty, but I also brought my clear ones, and I also brought over some clear with pearls. I think these are Aurora Borealis. So let's see, where can I put them? I'm going to put 1 at the end of the sentiment, and then some smaller ones scattered. And then this looks a little plain to me. I'm going to take some of these golden yellow ones that I have, just to see. Yep, that's it. Okay, no more bling. Well, that's my card for today. I hope you enjoyed the process, and I hope you love this stamp as much as I do. But get your stuff out, play, have fun, and just go wild and experiment. Thank you so much for watching. I will be back on Monday, and I hope you have a great rest of your day and a wonderful weekend. Thanks for watching.